Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into a story that blurs the line between industrial thriller and pure maritime horror. It is a tale that starts with a routine job and spirals into a nightmare on the high seas. Imagine being trapped on a massive ship miles from anywhere, with something ancient and malevolent stirring in the depths below. This is the story of the crew of the Leviathan, and it's a journey you won't soon forget. So, grab your life vest and let's set sail into the heart of this chilling adventure. Our story begins with Elias, a seasoned deep-sea warrior. He's a pro, the kind of guy who's seen it all, or so he thinks. He gets a call for a last-minute high-paying gig. A critical repair on an offshore oil rig named the Leviathan. The details are sketchy, but the money is too good to pass up. The company, a shadowy corporation called GeoCorp, flies him out immediately. From the moment he steps onto the helicopter, a sense of unease starts to creep in. The air is thick with tension, and the other specialists on board are, their faces etched with a mixture of greed and apprehension. As the helicopter approaches, the Leviathan emerges from the mist like a metal monster. It's a colossal structure, rusting and groaning under the relentless assault of the wave. It's older and more dilapidated than any rig Elias has ever worked on. When they land, the platform manager, a stern-faced man named Kalen, gives them a no-nonsense briefing. The damage is severe. Located on a support pylon deep beneath the surface, right next to the drill site. The cause: unexplained geological stressors. Kellen's eyes betray a flicker of something more than just professional concern. It's fear. He warns them to stick to the repair zone and not to ask too many questions. The dive is where things start to get truly strange. As Elias and his partner, a nervous rookie named Ben, descend, their sonar starts picking up bizarre readings. The usual clicks and pings of marine life are replaced by a low, rhythmic pulse. A sound that feels less like an animal and more like a heartbeat. A very, very large heartbeat. Down at the repair site, they find the damage is unlike anything they've ever seen. The thick steel of the pylon isn't just cracked or bent. It's gouged, with deep, claw-like marks scraped into the metal, as if something enormous tried to tear it apart. While working, Elias feels a powerful vibration that resonates through the water and into his very bones. The entire structure groans and shudders in time with the deep, pulsing sound from below. Crew members start whispering, sharing stories of strange sightings and unsettling dreams. One roughneck swears he saw a pair of glowing eyes staring up from the water. Another talks about hearing whispers carried on the wind, in a language that was ancient and utterly alien. The atmosphere on the Leviathan is no longer just tense. It's thick with a primal dread. The rig doesn't feel like a workplace anymore. It feels like a cage, suspended over an abyss that has just woken up. The next day, Ben is gone. His bunk is empty, his gear still in his locker, A frantic search turns up nothing. Kaylin tries to maintain order, claiming Ben must have had a mental break and fallen overboard. But then, a grim discovery is made. A security camera near the edge of the platform captured Ben's last moments. The footage is corrupted and glitchy, but it shows him standing at the railing, looking down at the water as if mesmerized. Then, a long, slender appendage, covered in a strange, bioluminescent pattern, snakes up from the depths, wraps around him, and pulls him into the black water in an instant. Panic erupts, the crew demands answers, and the illusion of control shatters completely. Kaylin finally cracks, revealing the horrifying truth. Geocorp wasn't just drilling for oil. They had detected a massive, dormant organic energy source deep beneath the seabed. The Leviathan's true purpose was to study and potentially harness this entity. But their drilling woke it up. The geological stressors were the creature stirring in its sleep. Now, it's fully awake, and it's hungry. The rig isn't just a drilling platform, it's bait, with a storm rolling in and communications cut. They are trapped. The entity begins its assault. Giant, tentacle-like limbs, easily the size of buses, smash against the rig's support pylons. The structure screams under the strain, metal twisting and snapping. The crew, a mix of welders, engineers, and roughnecks, must now become soldiers in a desperate fight for survival. Elias, using his knowledge of the rig structure, organizes a defense. They use welding torches, flare guns, and whatever industrial equipment they can find to fight back against the limbs that probe and crush their floating fortress. The fight is brutal and desperate. They manage to sever one of the tentacles with a concentrated blast from a hypersure water jet, causing the creature to recoil temporarily. But the victory is short-lived. The entity is intelligent. It lends. It stops its blind attacks and begins a more strategic assault, targeting the rig's weak points. It sends smaller, faster appendages onto the platform itself, hunting the crew through the labyrinthine corridors of the Leviathan. The horror is no longer just below them. It's among them. Elias realizes they can't win a direct fight. Their only hope is to sever the rig from its anchor points and hope the damaged structure can float long enough for them to be rescued. As Elias and a small team fight their way to the anchor control room, they come face to face with the true nature of the entity. One of the smaller appendages corners them, and instead of attacking, it unfurls to reveal a surface covered in shifting, hypnotic bioluminescent patterns. A voice floods their minds. Not a sound, but a direct telepathic communication. It is a voice of immense age and power, a consciousness that has slumbered for millennia. It shows them visions of its existence, a time before humanity, a world of darkness and crushing pressure. It doesn't see them as a threat, but as an annoyance, a brief flicker of life in its timeless existence. They learn its name or the closest concept their minds can grasp. The abyss, it shows them Ben, not dead, but absorbed, his consciousness now a part of its own, an eternal, silent scream in the dark. The psychological toll is devastating. One crew member's mind shatters completely, while the others are left trembling, their sanity hanging by a thread. Elias, however, finds a sliver of resolve in the terror. He understands now. This isn't a monster to be killed. It's a force of nature to be escaped. They finally reach the control room and, with the creature's main body distracted by its assault on the pylons, they trigger the explosive bolts on the seafloor anchors with a series of deafening explosions. The Leviathan is set adrift. The rig lurches violently, but it floats. For a moment, it seems they've done it. But the Sovereign is not done with them. As the crippled rig drifts away, a colossal form begins to rise from the depths. It's not just tentacles anymore. It's the main body of the creature, a mountain of ancient flesh and alien biology. Its surface covered in countless glowing eyes that fix upon the fleeing rig. The true nightmare has just begun to surface. What do you think happens next? Does the crew of the Leviathan escape? Or are they just a floating meal for the ancient god they awakened? Let me know your theories in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this descent into the abyss, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more chilling tailies. See you next time.